All right, so Friday night is upon us. We got a little bit of work to do to the Z before we can get out to the track. We're going to try to tighten up the spark plug gap a little bit to see if that's going to help our problem breaking up at the very end of the run. But in addition to that, we just felt like we were due for an upgrade on the coil, so we went ahead and just got an MSD blaster too, just like a universal coil. Re-gapping the spark plugs, they're set to like 32 or 30, so we're going to go ahead and just drop them all the way down to like 20 thousandths and see if that'll straighten all that up. And then I want to put a plug on the dipstick too, because we were blowing a little bit of oil out of it on the last pass. We're not ventilating very well, evidently. So anyway, the dipstick kind of just sits in there. It's not really snug enough. I don't think we have any excessive blow by, just probably the normal amount, hopefully. Anyway, so we're gonna plug that shit off and then we'll be good to go. And Matt's got his shirt off.
It's hot.
Because he knows I like it that way. Anyway, we'll be at the track in no time. We're doing things tonight for sure.
Yeah,
all right, so we're loaded up, headed to the track. The Z's got a new coil. It's got re-gap spark plugs. We need to, once we get there, we need to change the tune a little bit, bring up the RPMs on the two-step. We already checked the tire pressures, oil, everything looks good. So we're gonna make some passes. Harry's coming out with the DA9 Integra. He's gonna make some passes tonight too. And I think I'm gonna get behind the wheel of that thing at some point tonight, because that car should be faster than it is, and I blame him. Also, a couple other buddies are coming out tonight. One of my buddies with that air-cooled Volkswagen Beetle that's running like 6 second, 8th miles will be out here. And then another buddy who's got a Shelby GT500 that he's got a bunch of bolt-ons too. Just put a brand new badass clutch in it, and he's gonna make some hits tonight. He's just on street tires, but just want to see what kind of mile an hour he can put down and try to get a good pass in. Anyway, should be a fun night of racing.
Guys, just got to North Star. We're out here with Sal. He's got his GT500 out here today. He just did like a clutch upgrade to it and stuff since we've been out last time, so that'll be exciting to watch run. And we're gonna make some modifications to the Z too.
We're gonna bring up the two-step and just work on a 60-foot. Other than that, just make sure the car's running smooth and probably give it a little bit of timing. And but we're gonna leave the boost at 17 for now.
It's gonna go faster.
Despite Sal's
750 tonight.
recommendation.
God, look at these nasty girls. Yeah, buddy, SPT. And then of course we got the old Gold Z. FP Turbo down here doing work. So hopefully we're gonna get that 750 tonight. Yeah.
I'll be out else here in just a minute. It's the only one I care about. Things kind of ended kind of abruptly at the track. Somebody blew a wheel or an axle apart on the track at like 11 something. So we decided to call it a night. It was super busy. We only got to make 2 passes. Didn't get a whole lot done. But I just wanted to make this little update on what happened. So the Z's best time was a 7:72, which we were pretty happy with, which was pretty good. I brought the two-step up a lot. Didn't seem to make a big difference on the 60-foot. We're going to be bringing the two-step up a lot more. I think we can get away with a lot more RPM on the two-step with the much bigger turbine housing, because the car doesn't make as much power as fast and start trying to push through the beams. So we are going to bring the two-step up even more and test that a little bit. I've started feeding timing back into it. I never got to make that pass with an extra degree of timing on the big end, but that's going to help definitely bring up our mile an hour a little bit. And then the two-step changes are going to help our launch. So we're going to get all that right. And we'll be back out of Friday. Car's still healthy. Car did great. I mean, made those 2 passes. And so we'll be back out there Friday to see what kind of changes we can make. Hopefully we can get multiple passes in. Another thing I got going on that I've been working on is this intake manifold that I showed in a video a while back. This is just an intake off an old N42 L28 head. I just got it from the junkyard, and I've been working on, you can see I've been working on grinding a bunch of stuff smooth, and I've welded some of these emissions bungs shut with my TIG welder that I recently bought. And then we've actually cut away the entire EGR valve. Normally the EGR valve mounting location's like right here, it like juts off of this, but we just chopped that completely off and have been grinding away the passages. This used to just be a tunnel where EGR passages would flow, and all these little plug welds here where ports where the exhaust would enter the intake. So we chopped all the extra material away. I started plug welding all these little holes with my welder, but we're pretty much at a standstill now. I mean, I need to grind on this a lot more. We're gonna get that all pretty and looking nice and get rid of all those emission systems. And then once it's all good, we're gonna install that, and I plan to TIG weld all the intercooler piping and just open it up a lot, because right now our intercooler piping's kind of rough. So we're gonna smooth that out, 2.5 piping all the way through. I got a blow-off valve, just a cheap eBay blow-off valve that we're gonna be installing in place of all the crazy bypass valve plumbing that's on the old intake or the current intake. But I do got an issue with my welder. This is a Lincoln TIG 200 that I bought about 4 weeks ago. So the backstory on the welder is I bought that for, man, it was a lot. It was like 1,700 bucks. And it's just supposed to be a good starter TIG welding machine. Also does arc welding, but it does AC, so I can work on aluminum stuff like my intake. So when the TIG 200 first arrived at my place, it wouldn't weld, wouldn't make a spark, just didn't work at all. It would turn on, all the lights would turn on, the fan would turn on, but it would never weld. And so I got with the company that sold it to me, sent it back, and they just sent me a different unit. Well, when this unit showed up, it worked actually like pretty good. But within about an hour's time, the electrode stopped initiating spark by itself. The high frequency function that starts the arc quit working. So basically the only way that I've been able to weld with it is through scratch starting it. So after, I'm kind of ignorant or new to the TIG welding scene, what I learned from one of my buddies who's very experienced at TIG welding is like, that's not how you're supposed to do it. Like, I'm sending this back again, hopefully. I've already sent out emails. I'm kind of worried because it's already been like 3 weeks since I bought it. I kind of thought like scratch starting it was normal. I got a little bit of background in arc welding where scratch start is typical. For sure, if hopefully they don't give me any trouble and they let me just return it to them, I will not be buying another Lincoln welder. This is 2 welders in a row. That machine has less than an hour's worth of welding on it. And it's just making beads on aluminum. I haven't abused the machine at all. I'm totally using it properly. And it's just junk. I'll probably just throw a little more money at this cause and end up getting a Miller, which is supposed to be top of the line. But knowing my luck, that thing is gonna show up and suck. But anywho, so we'll be back at it Friday. This is gonna be a short video tonight because I don't have that much content to share. My buddy's beetle was out there doing pretty good. I got a little bit of footage of him, and I didn't manage to get really anything about my buddy GT500 because he was making passes like the same time that we were. So it was really hard to get any video of that. But hopefully he comes back out next time, and he managed to get into the 7s on a street tire. So he's just trying to dial in his launch and stuff. So anywho, should be more stuff coming next week, and we should hopefully, with weather permitting, we'll have a good night of racing and get some more data and get that Z into the 750s.